What is up, everybody? Welcome back again to another episode of Say What Barstool Parlay. Let's get into a couple things here, guys. And I kind of want to knock out a couple different things inside of a broader topic. And that topic is Dak Prescott and the Cowboys free agency and what's going on with Dak and is he going to walk in 2025 and kind of the broader issue that brings up, which for me is we have to fix contract negotiations, and it's more evident than any place else with quarterbacks, but it happens at all positions, and we need to fix it. We need to change it. So before we get into that, let's make sure that we share, like, and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when content's coming out, so you guys can actually see the content when it comes out. All right, so let's get into this. As far as the contracts and stuff, here's the big thing. Next man up. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It is the stupidest way for contracts to be structured. And it was never like this before. Like, yeah, guys used to up each other with contracts and this and that. But the next man up used to be next man up with credentials, next man up with accomplishments. Now it's just next guy up. Oh, you've never had a winning season, but we think you're a pretty good quarterback? Oh, well, next man up, Daniel Jones. And here's the thing is we look at guys and we just say, well, as long as you're an above average quarterback, you automatically get the highest salary out of everybody else who's already been paid. You triple everybody else's number. This is absolutely asinine. I don't have any idea why the teams and the owners and general managers have not come down and just looked at guys and said no. We started to see it a little bit last offseason with Lamar, where they said we're willing to go to a certain number and we're not exceeding that, but that number was exceeding the last number. At some point, one of these teams has to say, you haven't done anything. I'm not paying you top of the market money for middle of the market results. And that's where we're at with guys like Dak Prescott. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to have a rational conversation with Dak Prescott and his agent saying, you have not won 3 Super Bowls like Patrick Mahomes. You have not won MVPs like Patrick Mahomes. We are not going to pay you Patrick Mahomes money. Patrick Mahomes has done this. You have done this. We are not going to pay you this amount of money for this amount of accomplishment. That is a very rational conversation you should have. And when you look at it, it goes across all spectrums. Lamar has won an MVP, has been to AFC Championship games. Lamar has done this. Dak, you have done this. We're not going to pay you the same amount of money as Lamar. He has accomplished more in his career than you. Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl in his first year as a starter and has been to an AFC Championship game. You have done this. You have not. We're not going to pay you Joe Burrow money. He has more accomplishments in his career than you. And that is my thing, is that it used to be you would figure out where you were in the pecking order, where you're sitting there going, oh, guys would like Dak would look at it and say, well, Kirk Cousins got X amount of money. Well, I'm in this Kirk Cousins range, so I'm going to get Kirk Cousins type of money. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more, but I'm going to stay in that range. And I'm not saying the actual dollar amounts, guys, because I know Kirk got loaded with money throughout his career. But I'm just saying is they used to be able to rank it and say, well, my career accomplishments are in this range with this guy, so I'm going to get paid in this range with this guy. And now next man up gets the most amount of money. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And on the other side, now the report is that it's coming out that Dak wants $60 million. Everybody was saying, well, maybe this, since he got paid the first time, maybe this time he's going to take, the hometown discount and maybe he's going to try to, go easy on Dallas and give him room to put players around him and this and that. No, he's not. He wants $60 million a year. He's basically saying that's the starting point. And if you're not offering 60, we can't even start to have a conversation. which means he wants over 60. He's saying he's willing to start negotiating at 60, which means realistically he probably wants 65, 67. And he goes, well, you come to the table with 60, and then we can negotiate, maybe close at 62, 63. I mean, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And at this point, if you're Dallas, now I understand where you're going into the offseason, which I was totally fine with anyway, not signing Dak. Restructure the money, move it around. You don't have to extend him. You can restructure money and move it, convert it to signing bonus, restructure that cash to get his cap hit down this year. And that's where Dallas is. And Mike Fisher talked about this, and that's where I believe we are at with Dallas is these 1-year deals, 1-year deal for the coach, 1-year deal for the quarterback, 1-year deal for the new defensive coordinator, 5th-year option on CeeDee Lamb, 1-year deal, 1 year left on the deal for Zach Martin, not extending Tyron Smith. They're putting a lot of 1-year deals in place. So at that point, we're in a position where next year, new coaching staff, potentially new quarterback, that they'll have room, cap space, clean up all these dirty contracts and clean house and start to clean things up. So the thing is with Dak and this restructure is it looks like Dallas is trying to get leverage back from Dak Presscott, because right now he has all the leverage. You can't tag me, you can't trade me. I'm going to walk for free next year. And I think Dallas is now trying to call Dak's bluff and get some of that control back, saying, yeah, we know. Bye. We're not going to restructure you. We're not going to extend you. We're going to let you go out on the market. And now that we're starting, and it seems like we're starting to see that turn where Kirk Cousins, yeah, he got good money from Atlanta, but he didn't get top of the market money. And Lamar Jackson, like I said last year, went out there and didn't get the contract that he wanted, even though he did get top of the market money, which he earned, but he didn't get the money that he wanted. And I'm the firm believer Dallas goes out and gets bounced in the first and second round again. What team is going to tie themselves to $60 million plus a year to Dak Prescott? Nobody. And I think Dallas is calling his bluff, going, go out on the market, see what you can get. We're not the only ones that aren't going to pay you $60 million a year. Exactly the same that Baltimore did with Lamar. We're not the only ones who aren't going to fully guarantee your contract. We're not the only ones who aren't willing to pay that amount of money. Go ask around. See who says yes. It ain't going to be nobody. And I feel that that's where Dallas is at, and that's the situation that they're pushing towards with Dak. Saying, we just ain't going to do it. Okay, we just ain't going to do it. So, and with that being said, I think that's the thing here where, like I said, we have to get this under control of stop paying these average quarterbacks great money. Just, well, he's the next guy who's owed a contract. I don't care. Just because Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott or Daniel Jones or whoever it is the next guy who's owed a contract, I'm not going to pay them Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson money just because they're the next guy who can hit free agency. I'm not going to do that. I'm 100% not going to do that. And for me, the concept of doing it is just stupid, and it drives me nuts and it drives me crazy. And we do it with all these players at all positions, but it's very, very evident, and it's the most relevant with quarterbacks. And I'm just flat out not going to do it. If I'm a team, if I have a top of the market guy, if I have a Patrick Mahomes, yeah, I'll give him top of the market money. But I'm not going to keep giving these guys who are 10th to 20th in the league top of the market money. I'm just not going to do that. That's absolutely insane to me. And you're going to handcuff yourself with your cap space, with your potential moves you can make for a guy who can't really do a whole lot for you. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, kudos to Dallas for looking like they're getting ready to call Dak's bluff. and potentially make a move on, one of these quarterbacks potentially coming out next year. Or maybe they hit a lottery pick on some late round guy this year. Or maybe we're yet to see. I'm still a believer in the potential and the talent that Trey Lance has. We'll see how far his development has come, where he's at in his development. We'll know a lot about where we're at with Trey Lance after watching preseason this year. So I'm excited to see preseason, excited to see his development, where he's at, and if he is a potential answer there if they move on. So that's yet to be seen, but I'm excited to see that. He has all the physical tools. The guy just needs reps and experience, and we'll see in practice and throughout the preseason how far along in that progression that he is. But the other side of this is too, guys, is Jerry Jones doubling down on this all-in freaking nonsense, saying that, we're all in because we're going to re-sign CD and we're going to re-sign Micah and we're hoping to get a deal done with Dak. And this nonsense, we're going all in. Complete nonsense. Jerry needs to shut up. Stop trying to sell us this all-in bullshit. We're tired of hearing it. We don't want to hear it anymore. The fact that you let your left tackle walk, your center walk, your running back walk, one of your defensive ends walk, one of your cornerbacks walk, you're not all in. You're not. You let one of your wide receivers go. There is no all in for Dallas. And then on top of that, you let those guys go, and you solve those issues by signing nobody, by doing nothing except getting a linebacker who used to be good and fits in the Mike Zimmer system, which I don't think was a bad move, but I do think it's not a game change. It's not a needle mover. He's just another guy in the room who knows Mike Zimmer's system. So at that point, you just got an old, aging linebacker who's not as good as he used to be anymore. A guy who's trending towards over the hill at linebacker. It doesn't move the needle for you. So the all-in stuff with Jerry, it sounds ridiculous. The fact that Jerry's talking about this and that and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know what we're doing with our draft picks and all this stuff. No, you don't. I'm the most qualified person to be the GM. No, you're not. Because what you're doing is the Kansas City and the New England model of, we're going to try to stay cheap in free agency, re-sign our own players, develop talent, this and that. And that works. And that's a strategy that is successful. And New England proved it. And Kansas City is proving that. If you have a generational Hall of Fame quarterback, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, who else has been able to use this model successfully? Oh, that's right. The Colts tried to do it with a Hall of Fame generational quarterback in Peyton Manning, and they couldn't even get it to work with Peyton Manning. They got one Super Bowl where a lot of things fell in their place to get that. Yeah, so it didn't even work with Peyton Manning. But as the Cowboys, you think you're going to be successful going that route with Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott can't be the difference maker like a Brady, like a Mahomes, even a Peyton Manning. He can't do that. He's not those guys. So the only thing that you're actually doing is setting yourself up for failure, because you're asking a slightly above average quarterback to become a difference maker like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. This model doesn't work with guys like Dak Prescott. We've never seen this model work with guys like Dak Prescott, because Dak can't take, like Mahomes, a bottom 5 receiving core this year and drag it to a Super Bowl. He can't do that. He can't do what Tom Brady did, dragging those bottom 5 receiving cores to Super Bowls. Dak needs a great defense. He needs a good run game. He needs good receivers. He needs talent around him. And when you got a guy like Dak who doesn't want to take a discount, doesn't understand that he's making more money off the field being the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys than he's ever going to make anywhere else in the league. You think he's going to make more money as the Seattle Seahawks starting quarterback? No. He's going to lose money on that deal. If he takes a smaller salary at Dallas, there's no state income tax, and he's a celebrity. He's one of the most famous guys in the NFL. He's no longer a celebrity somewhere else because mediocre quarterbacks aren't celebrities. Mediocre quarterbacks are celebrities when they play in Dallas. Dak Presscott, Tony Romo. He is a celebrity because of the star on the side of his helmet, not because of his production on the field. Because his production on the field has been up and down, roller coaster, a couple good regular season games, and atrocious playoff games. So the fact that they keep using this, we're not going to spend money, we're not going to invest anything, we're not going to go into free agency, we're going to build from within, we're not going to pay big money, and we're not even going to keep some of our guys at points. That model can be successful, Jerry, you're right. But it's only successful if you have a generational Hall of Fame quarterback, which you don't have. You don't even have a Hall of Fame quarterback, let alone a generational, once every 50 years Hall of Fame quarterback like Brady or Mahomes or some of these guys that are just great winners. You don't have one of those guys. You just got a guy who's compared to everybody else. So this whole idea of all in for Dallas, and the fact that they're all in despite losing a left tackle, a center, a running back, a corner, a defensive end, a linebacker to retirement, and a wide receiver, is complete bullshit that I'm tired of hearing from Jerry Jones. He's trying to double down now that they're going all in and change the meaning of what that means. Oh, well, it just means we're going to re-sign CD and Dak and Micah and all this stuff. Well, just putting the same team back out there with less parts is not going all in. Dallas is worse today than when free agency started. Dallas is worse today than when they lost that game to Green Bay. So this all-in nonsense, stop doubling down on it and just move on and quit talking about it. And the fact of the model that you have of not going all in and not putting pieces on this team around Dak and trying to build through the draft and keep the salary cap low and groom and build talent. It only works if you have Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. It doesn't work for other teams. At some point, you have to add pieces around that average quarterback because he's not the truck. He's the trailer. He's getting pulled along by the rest of the team. He's not the truck pulling the rest of the guys. He's the trailer, not the truck. And you can't have that type of team and that type of team building strategy if your quarterback's a trailer. So we need to stop paying average guys top of the market money at all positions. And we need to stop the all-in talk and the build from within approach from Dallas with a Dak Prescott type of quarterback because it's total nonsense. But once again, guys, raw takes, no apologies. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, make sure to comment, share, like, subscribe. We have access to do live videos now on the channel, so if you guys want to see some live stuff or you guys want to have some chat room debates and get in live videos with topics with me, let me know in the comments if that's stuff you guys want to do, stuff you guys want to see. And until next time, guys, peace out.